Donald Trump just triggered the biggest crypto crash we've ever seen in history. This blows the FTX saga out of the water. And the big question is, what do we do now? What are the whales doing? What are people buying? And following the big institutional money is a big part of this, guys. So, wanted to dive into it. Very serious video. Obviously, when this sort of thing happens, super important. You don't get too high, you don't get too low. Just keep your emotions out of it, stick to your plan. And we personally, on my side, I bought like 5 or 6 different cryptos yesterday on the dip. And I want to break down first what happened, and then we'll get into some of the altcoins that the whales are buying, some of the things I'm seeing in the markets. So, guys, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. But was really interesting, 2 days before Trump's post that came out yesterday, and this is all triggered by 100% tariffs coming November 1st on China. Who knows if we even get there? That's the crazy thing. Usually this is just a scare tactic. That's what we've seen with tariffs, right? They put a deadline and then they eventually figure something out before the deadline. Regardless, the markets didn't like it. The stock market crashed, crypto crashed, everything went down very, very quickly. But 2 days before Trump's post yesterday, one of Bitcoin's oldest wallets suddenly started opening large short positions, basically betting the market was going to go down on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it does beg a question. Was this pre-planned? Who knew about it? Because if you're putting your tinfoil hat on, you're thinking, well, this is a great opportunity for the institutions to own more of the supply, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, etc. But there was no catalyst, there was no headlines, just silent movement on chain. Then came the post. Trump warned that China would face massive tariffs, hinting at a trade escalation, and markets reacted instantly. A small dip, some volatility, but nothing major yet. But then the real hit came hours later. From the White House podium, Trump officially announced 100% tariffs on all Chinese imports starting November 1st. This is a shock that no one priced in. And this is why it's so important you always have cash on the sidelines too. We preach this, we talk about it. Having a third of your money that's in crypto on the sidelines in stablecoins ready to buy the dip, it's crucial. And yesterday is a perfect example why. The S&P fell over 2%. That's its sharpest single day drop since April. Bitcoin plunged to 102,000, erasing weeks of gains. Altcoins entered free fall, most dropping 70 to 90% within minutes. However, a lot of them have bounced back. And, if you look at this too, a lot of people were using leverage. A lot of people were trading. And I like leverage trading. It's a very small portion of what I do in crypto. I hold most of my crypto in spot. But a lot of people were over leveraged and they got liquidated. And this could be just a reset for the market. I was reading some tweets and some posts on X this morning. Benjamin Cowan said, this is bullish for Ethereum, finally came down to where it needed to grab liquidity. Now Ethereum could set new all-time highs. I really do think this was the one last reset before the big trigger. And again, despite if it was something that, was premeditated, we as retail investors can only look at this as an opportunity. So I wanted to dive into it a little bit deeper here and talk about what the whales are actually doing here, what they're scooping up. So if we look at XRP first, this was a very, very interesting one, guys. This thing dipped. Crazy to think about this. I never thought we'd see XRP dipping to these levels, at least in this type of cycle. It went down to $1.84 at 5:25 p.m. Eastern yesterday. 184 was the low. We're back to 247, just like that, back to 247. So huge whale activity there. Tons of people buying up the XRP dip. We mentioned Bitcoin went down to 102. We're back up to 112 on that. Of course, the whales are buying Bitcoin and Ethereum, but there are two interesting outliers here. Crypto whales are also buying Hyperliquid and Pepe after the market crash. So what do they know here? Crypto whales are back in action, buying millions worth of Hype and Pepe. One whale purchased 5.5 million in Hype, opened up long positions on Bitcoin and Hype. And then another big whale investor nearly spent $5 million buying 600 billion Pepe after the crash. And it says here, after the recent market crash that wiped out nearly 500 million, I didn't realize I wasn't sharing there. There you go. After the market crash that wiped nearly 500 billion in value, large investors who moved millions in digital assets wasted no time jumping in. Recently, data from Look On Chain, which is an on-chain analytical platform, shows that large holders are quietly buying up Pepe and Hype, even as most of the market remains pretty shaky. So a couple moves that I made yesterday too is I bought more Zcash on the dip, and crazy enough, Zcash is up. It is in the green. It's one of the only assets. Look at this thing. It's up 93% in the last 7 days, 450% in the last month. We just popped up to 284 on the high, almost got back up to $300. Crazy. So this was a really good purchase. Grab more Zcash around like 210. It actually dipped as low as, let's see, we got down to 160. Man, that would have been an amazing time to grab it. But I got it at 210. Happy about that. We're back up to 261. Was also able to pick up some H-bar. I really liked H-bar on the dip. Let's see here. If we go over to H-bar, we're back up to 17 cents. But look at this. We dipped down to 10 cents. I was able to scoop some up at 11. So that was one I was able to catch right around the bottom there. So Hedera went on a nice dip. Pretty much everything across the board, was on sale. And whales, in terms of some of the other things they're buying here, we mentioned Hyperliquid. They also scooped up quite a bit of Aster, that perp dex, that's backed by Binance. That was another one. We saw a huge drop in Aster. This thing dipped down to 124, back up to 134 now. We have seen some whale activity there on Aster. And XDC was an interesting one yesterday. We got a dip down to 50 or to 5 cents. And that one actually hung in there pretty well, but we did see some whale activity come in there. I was looking at some sentiment data, and some XRP whales bought HBAR, XDC, and XLM also on the dips, which makes sense because these are the same type of plays, ISO compliant, working with RWAs and cross-border payments. But if we take a look at this X post, someone just opened a Bitcoin short 30 minutes before Trump's tariff announcement. So who knew this? Think about this. They made $88 million in profit. Somebody knew something before the news. This reminds me of the collapse during COVID, right? This reminds me of the same type of thing. A bunch of insiders knew what was about to happen before the announcement came down, shorted the market. And I think this was an opportunity for institutions to pick up a ton of the supply. And if retail was paying attention, you two still were able to get into the party. And I sent a post out late last night. I said, the key is not to get too high or too low. Be ready for any scenario. Make your moves with no emotions. And this is all about having a game plan and having cash on the sidelines, right? I think it's really, really crucial that everybody always has some cash on the sidelines. And I think so many people were over leveraged in this market, got wiped out. So it's just another learning lesson in that you always want to have stable coins ready to go. So again, the biggest liquidation event in crypto history, guys, but we're still here. I know one thing, a lot of people making parallels to FTX. To me, after the FTX saga, the market felt like it was just done, right? And it was done for a while. And then it obviously comes back. I don't feel the market's done after experiencing what we just experienced, right? This whole tariff conversation has been happening. I think we can still make a really nice rally here. And we're still in a broader uptrend. Even when I look at a lot of smart people, way smarter than me, Raoul Paul, he was buying. He made a post that he was trying to go to the bank to get more money and they wouldn't give it to him. It's hard to get money, on demand when you need it from the bank. He wanted to buy more on this big dip, but wasn't able to, but still was able to get, some buys in. So the smart money's still buying. And that tells me that we're still in a broader uptrend. Don't be fearful. This is the time to be greedy. And I appreciate you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. Check out the Patreon if you're looking to join a great private community. We're doing live calls every Friday. You guys will know the moves I'm making. every single time I make a move in the portfolio, and also get to join an awesome community. So appreciate you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.